Good morning, good morning. Today is November 3rd. If you're keeping track, it's my day 1.175. And I was just looking at myself in the little screen here, and I always tried initially, we may be interrupted by some cats who are going senile. I'm in here. See what I mean? But I've already gotten up and checked on them. I don't know what they're doing. It's like, let's see if we can get Robin to get up and look at us game. But my initial set of videos when I started, I tried to do a video without makeup on. You know, like a, this is how I looked when I roll out of bed video. Hey you! You found me. Tag, you're it. Tag, I'm it. But it's my oldest cat back there, Buddy Kitty. Where were we? Oh, but you know, some of the other transition videos I had seen on YouTube, you know, I would get somewhat sad, like I don't look as good as them, and really there's a lot of stuff you can do with light. I have this desk lamp here. If I turn it off, you know, this is the natural light coming in from the, well, I got the fluorescent above me, but you know, previously this lamp over here had more of an orange bulb in it. It was an incandescent, it was an actual real light bulb. So it had that orangey feel, and you know, it made my face light up a little bit. And you know, again, so and I guess the point I'm driving to is if you watch other YouTube videos or whatnot, you know, don't look at someone and say, oh, they're so far in their transition, because you don't know what they've done to get to that. You know, like I said, this is me. All I've done today is shave. The translucent hair is no makeup. You know, so I probably am au natural. But again, like I said, I've seen some other videos, and I mean, if you know what you're doing with makeup and whatnot, I mean, you really can look really, really good. And then, like I said, I've seen some of the other YouTube videos. There's a makeup tutorial guy, not a girl, it's a guy, and he had a video about, you know, you've been lied to, and he demonstrated the light bar system he uses, which uses just so much light that it bleaches out his face. You know, he had it just shaved, but he had a beard, and it took that away, the light. And then he had a filter he could turn on his computer that was the equivalent of a smudge tool on Photoshop. You know, it smoothed out areas of his face and his, you know, it's one of those things. I guess, again, if you're starting out, as I did about a year or two ago, and I would see videos like, oh, I don't look as good as them, you know, whatnot. And certainly I don't think I look great. I am what I am, and this is where we are, so we have to deal with. So we'll go from there. Not a whole heck of a lot going on. Things are progressing. Things are progressing on some legal issues. So that makes me feel really, really good. And I'll keep that under my hat, as it were, just to say things are progressing. As well as I kind of made myself an agreement that when I had crossed 250 pounds, I would reach out to the surgical coordinator for GCS. And wouldn't you know it, this morning I clocked, my scale told me I weighed 249.8. And so I definitely have crossed 250, and I have reached out to the surgical coordinator. And, you know, it's one of those things people, last time, a year ago, let's say, and I would say, oh, I want surgery, I want surgery, I want surgery. And they'd be like, well, you know, do you have to do it now? You know, my mom, can you wait a little while? And I tried to explain to her, I'm like, but it's not something like you call up your PCM or your primary care doctor and you go see them and you do. I mean, in this case, it can take her a week or two to get back to me, the surgical coordinator. I mean, I've already established a rapport with them. They have my paperwork. They have all my letters from last year. I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on my letters. I hope not. But it could be a week or two till they get to you. And then, it can be a 3 to 6 month wait to get a consult. And it can be a 6 to a 12 month wait for a surgery date if you get that far. And so, you really do need to think a year ahead. And I know some surgeons, some places want like a down deposit. And we haven't really gotten to the money thing. And in the back of my head, I think, oh, great, I'm going to get to this point. I'm going to get to the next doorway. I'm going to get to the next gateway, the next portal, and push my way through it. Yes, I've met your requirements. And then it's going to be the next obstacle, which is going to be finances. And I won't know till I get there. I'm trying to save money, etc., etc., etc. And I've definitely allowed my health savings account to grow. And knock on plastic, it should all come together, I'm hoping. But again, I know the surgeon in Chicago, they want $10,000 up front. And I don't know how much the gal in California, Marcy Bowers, which seems to be the cool name recently. I don't know what she charges, but I'm pretty sure she has a down deposit, and it's like, to get on the 2-year waiting list, it requires a down deposit or something like that. And so again, you kind of got to think ahead somewhat and don't get discouraged. And definitely in my case, when I went up there in March and it was, oh, your paperwork are in order, your letters are in order, your insurance is great, you're just fat. And I was like, okay, I have to lose 120 pounds and I'm down to the last 29.8, so that's really, really good. And really, that's just about it. Things are kind of going their own pace. It's really overcast, kind of depressing. It's that post-October, we're in November, kind of gloom. And I've seen some posts lately with some trans friends who, Thanksgiving can be a real loaded, and Christmas is a real loaded holiday, but Thanksgiving is significant. I mean, I guess you could say all holidays are significant, but my experience with my family, Thanksgiving was like the holiday for everybody, whereas Christmas was the holiday for children. And so, when I went to college in the 90s, actually, I went to college in the late 80s, first time. I was away for those holidays. And so there were several years that I wasn't a part of my family. And then in the 90s, I came to terms with who I was and I wanted to transition and I tried to transition. It didn't go very far. I've had this divide from my family. And then now, it's like, we're states apart. We're not going to see each other. My one set of parents is retired in one part of the country. My other set of parents are retired in another part of the country. So I'm not going to see them for Thanksgiving anyway. And because of my marriage, my divorce and whatnot, we haven't had a happy Thanksgiving in many, many, many years, or a happy, happy Christmas. Last year was pretty darn good. This year will be a little better. I think last year was the year of firsts. The first Thanksgiving we weren't together, the first Christmas we weren't together, and obviously I was transitioning, and so it was kind of an awkward all around for everybody. So this year I think will be less stress. But I think again in the trans world, when you transition and you have family members who are, I don't know what it is, and I have in my own family, there's just people who live to make other people miserable, and I obviously I choose not to be around them, but I would say, if you can, ignore those people. If you have a family, if you're close to your family, invite them over for Thanksgiving dinner, even if you expect a reject, or if it's one of those things. Not, I can't think of what they're called. Lumberjacks. You're gonna say, how in the hell did you get to lumberjack? If you're a lumberjack, there is a special position. I know how much you know about lumberjacks. There is a special person who is instrumental in getting the logs down the river. And this person is the log jam expert. And I can't think of what their name is. But they get paid a lot of money when there is a jam to find the log that needs to be removed or cut. And that frees the whole thing. And so, what I found in my family is there's one or two people who are the jammers. They're there to sow chaos and dissent. And they can be kind of instrumental in, making life difficult for us. And I think, one way to counteract that jam, that person, is to be open-armed and say, I'd like to do something with you on Thanksgiving. Can we meet here? Can we do this here? Present alternatives. And, again, I've had experience with this person who tries to make life difficult. They may show up and be a bitch, but that is their problem. And, it's one of those things. I think once you start to work away at that jam and you like a knot and you begin to work at it, it gets a little easier. Now, that's kind of a generic statement, and it does not apply for everyone. And I promise you, girl, I promise you, I know what it's like to have a family member actively sabotage and prevent you from harmony and whatnot. But, it's there's a story in the Bible somewhere in the back about it's a judge and a woman who wants justice, and she knocks on his door every day. When will I get justice? Da 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 da. And the justice says, for nothing other than just to get rid of her, I am going to hear her case. She's going to be persistent. And so the takeaway from that, I would say, is to be persistent and to be loving and to be open. But again, I promise you, I know that feeling, and I know what it's like to have someone work against you. And I don't know what their problem is, and God help them. Depending on your views of the afterlife, I'm agnostic, somewhat atheist, but more agnostic. And most religions have some sort of consequence. If you've been a bitch all your life, then you ain't gonna get in heaven. If you believe in such things. I don't, which means hell and good. Heaven and hell are here right on earth for me, right in front of me. This is my heaven and my hell. Don't need to go somewhere else for that. But again, be persistent, maybe is the takeaway. And really, that's just about it. So again, no real message for today other than just kind of checking in. I notice my hair is getting kind of longer. My hair too, by the way. It's not a wig. That was something. The first time I went to a Trans Women National Ladies Night Out, there was a drunk gay man who was a stylist, and he was like, "And I can do things with your wig that," and he was like, "Oh, that's your real hair," and I'm like, "Yes, get off my real hair." Crazy world. All right, my friends. Good luck to you in your pursuits, and I'm sorry I don't have any great wisdom, or all I can do is just say namaste and good luck in your pursuits. And for those ahead of me in this journey, I'm catching up. For those behind me, I'm saying watch out for the dog poop. So all right, my friends, good luck to you on your journey, and we will check in with you later. Bye-bye.